The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. We've saved a spot for you here in the shed, so get comfortable and listen in as we rejoin our adventurers at the beginning of an encounter with the hobgoblins. They've followed the shadowy figure back to the cave and are ready to fight. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome back to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Definitely find us on iTunes and Facebook and anywhere else you search us up on the internets. We are here back in the shed continuing our Dungeon World campaign. This is a new campaign with a couple of new players, and we are going to call this campaign A New Frontier. It's already been labeled on some of the episodes, so we'll continue with that. It's called A New Frontier. And to continue this new frontier, we're going to go around the table and say hi with our character names, starting right here to my left.
This is Chris. I'm playing Uriel the Immolator.
This is Callie. I'm playing Trillium the Druid.
Hey, this is Kurt. I am playing Breton the Human Ranger.
Hola, it's Lenore. I'm playing the cleric.
A college student taking Spanish.
See.
And I am Joe. I am the game master for this Dungeon World campaign. We're going to jump right back into the thick of it. I'll give you a 20-second recap here, and we have our party approaching the cave they were in earlier, where the hobgoblin smell was, and they found all the stuff that the town had lost. We have our cleric with a magic missile in the brewing with a little blue sparkly ball of electricity started. The ranger is sitting back with his bow drawn and a freshly sharpened arrow tip on there, and the his wolf cloud as well as Trillium in wolf form coming in from the sides towards the cave entrance. And last but not least, the man with the flaming sword, Uriel, I believe is about to charge straight up into the gut of the place.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
I assume there's like some boulders around because the cave entrance.
Oh, yeah. It's still the same setup, but it looks like the main boulder that you guys first snuck under as a salamander and then moved to get by, that is now open. And you can actually see a little bit of like maybe the embers of a fire that was burning inside. There's just a tiny bit of light inside glowing, and then you can see the forms of hobgoblins outside.
That's not good for them. Yeah, I'll go running up over the rocks with my sword in hand and come crashing down upon
okay, as you come running forward, they start shooting arrows at you. You'll have to avoid at least a couple before you get up to where they are. However you might do that.
I will be...
Seems like a danger that you might defy.
Yeah, I'm going to be enduring. I'm just going to, like, if I take the hit, I take the hit.
All right.
Just powering through full blast.
So that sounds like Constitution.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Don't look, Joe, because, you know.
Oh, yes. I remember I said that. If I
11.
All right.
Full speed ahead.
The arrows practically bounce off of you. A couple of nicks and scratches here and there. You know, you might bleed a little bit, but the flame is burning bright and you barely notice it. Yes. and everyone else sees this as he charges up because he's holding the flaming sword, pretty much a torch in his hand. And you see arrows like bounce off his shoulder and a little nick across the side of his neck, but nothing really bad.
So since he is just charged in and is getting attacked back, I am sitting there on the ready, trying to do called shot. And you had said that I would get one.
Let's let that go right before he reaches them. Right. Because they're going to shoot. There's going to be a 2 seconds maybe before he leaps over that boulder, and you're able to let an arrow go.
Right. So is there one that is clearly a leader, or are they all just kind of a mob of hobgoblins?
There's one wearing fancier clothes.
Yeah. One of them says has a name tag that says manager. No. There is one that is larger than the others, but that might be the leader.
Well,
and in a group of humanoids like this, larger usually means. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to try to shoot the largest one, and I'm going to call my shot, and depending on what I roll, I may get to specify an effect.
Go for it.
All right.
Get fancy.
Come on, baby.
Ranger thing.
Come on, and this is with Dex. Plus 2. Oh, no, I rolled 5 plus 2, 7.
That's not bad.
That's
all right, it's not bad. So
I think the difference with the called shot is when you get a 7 to 9, you don't deal damage. 10 plus, you get to deal damage.
Correct. So on 7 and 9, they do nothing but stand and drool for a few.
So you're going to hit him in the head.
Yeah. I was calling head.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So
I will write drooling next to that guy.
And I would like to unleash a magic missile.
I'll allow it.
you will allow it.
Because it's something you could do. You were preparing, and it's something you could do in the second before the flaming sword reaches. So you're casting a spell.
6.
You're casting a spell, so you add...
Wisdom?
Say it with authority.
Wisdom.
There you go.
So 8.
8. That's not a failure.
It is not a failure.
Can we use this anytime?
Oh, actually, yeah. Let me go back to what I'll do a quick recap for the listeners because they don't know something we just did off air. On previous Dungeon World campaigns, our audience may remember we have done things like a failure gives you a +1 forward. You can take that, not necessarily a forward, but a +1 that you can use later on. What we've done so far, since we're going to be doing leveling based on milestones rather than experience, our players at the table here get 1 poker chip, as we're using, for each failure. And at any time, they can use those poker chips to add to rolls. In that vein, I think, Kurt, to your point, that's any roll. Any player, any roll, you can use your poker chip to increase that roll by 1.
So you could say you're using it after your roll.
Yes, and you could use it for someone else. So where she got an 8, 2 other people or herself could pitch in 2 chips and make it a 10.
Oh, okay.
Right?
It's good to know.
It's a way to use up those failures. Rather than worrying about experience.
Is it just a one-time use?
Yeah, you'll use it, it'll go back into the pile, and then the next failure you have, you get a chip back.
Yeah.
But that's a way that we can use that benefit.
Nice.
Well, are you going to roll again because of that?
No.
Gives
Did
you more.
I cast it?
You did cast it, yes. Now you have to pick your 7 to 9
Right.
result. What are you going to pick?
I'm going to...
Draw unwanted attention.
Probably.
Draw unwanted
I
attention.
can't find the list of
Draw
what
unwanted attention.
This one?
Yeah. Or you could take a -1
draw,
for a while.
No, I'm going to draw unwelcome attention.
Okay.
But
Cloud comes up and sniffs your butt.
5.
Feels so
5?
5
okay.
damage.
Now, did you have a target in mind when you were casting
The one
magic
that
missile?
shot at him.
There were
that
5
he's
of them
rushing
that shot at
towards.
him.
Well,
A bunch of arrows came at him,
one
which is
he's-
why he had to avoid them.
the one next to the one that he's closest to.
Okay, so
Goblin 2.
Uriel will be charging right up towards the front. There's one on the left, one on the right. We'll say you hit the one on the right.
Right.
Okay. That one goes down in a spark of glory.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice spark of glory.
Forza Rika.
And as soon as that happens, Uriel, you're right there with your flaming sword. That one collapses in a mess of little blue sparklies.
Wow.
Like he got a little too close to the Van de Graaff generator or something.
He got glitter bombed.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
You should rename your magic missile to Glitter Bomb.
Glitter bomb.
Glitter bomb.
Zarika's Glitter Bomb.
Bedazzled.
All right. Dropping the flaming sword on some guy's face.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Wow.
That's 2 6s. Chris, you're on
If I
a
can, I want to
roll.
split this guy in half for the...
Actually, with 2 6s, I will let you hit him and the guy next to him.
That's even
because
better.
Your flaming sword encounters very little resistance in the first hobgoblin.
Should I roll 2 for each guy or just 1? And how do you want to do that for damage?
Tell you what, just don't roll a 1.
7.
Okay.
And it'd be an 8 because I have the +1 damage on the sword.
All right, and you'll just get both of them.
Awesome.
One of the fun things in Dungeon World is we can get through combats quick because the bad guys don't necessarily have a whole lot of hit points, as it were. They do have hit points, but they don't have a whole lot, and we want to get through the story part. We want to make it exciting and keep moving. So next we've got the 2 wolves going, and of course, since one of the wolves is Trillium, we'll let her take the next go. Now remember, the scene that you're seeing now is one hobgoblin that got hit in the head with an arrow, and is just kind of, what? And then one that's all bedazzled, sparkly, glitter painted, and 2 that are kind of
You went to the strip club.
sliced in half and cauterized at the same time, conveniently. So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
not even bleeding.
No, it's not even
messy.
bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all right near the entrance. There's another 6 or 7 of them around the area, and they're just like, what do we do? What do we do?
Okay.
Run away!
Run away! That
So-
could happen, depending on what you guys do to them.
not.
How about Cloud and I kind of go off to each side?
Yep.
Flanking.
Is it large enough that we can kind of...
The entrance, yeah.
Yeah.
You can get to 2 sides of the entrance, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to flank them on either side.
Okay. And what you going to do after that? Going to try some like wolf pack tactics or something? And what does that look like? The idea here is I'm looking for how do we use up the holds of being a wolf? What's so special about being a wolf? Otherwise, you're just going to bite them and it's going to be a hack and slash.
Is that a thing, like pack tactics for...
I would
Yeah,
say it would make sense to me.
I would say, yeah, I mean, I figure the benefit of me being a wolf with Cloud is that I could communicate with her and say, okay, we're going to do this. And now, does she have, like, do we have to roll separate for her, or
not necessarily? The way this would work is typically, Kurt, as Breton, controls the animal companion. However, you're in wolf form communicating with another wolf. It's easy enough for you to do a communication. So let me give you an example of what I was thinking with the idea of wolf pack tactics to give you there's something to work with maybe. So you tell Cloud in like a bark or a growl or a yip or whatever that might be, that the communication, get behind this guy and distract him so I can bite him in the back of the neck.
Okay.
And then because that's a wolf thing, you just use a hold and that happens.
Right. And
otherwise, you're just rolling to hack and slash and maybe you hit, maybe you miss.
Yeah. And
but using a hold is currency that you'll run out of at some point and turn back into the druid.
Okay.
Right. And if I attack the same target,
Yeah.
I can add Cloud's ferocity to my damage.
Right.
So, like, by working with my animal, I get a bonus to damage.
Exactly.
Okay. I gotcha.
So you start thinking of the things. I like to picture Dungeon World, especially in combat, as a movie. Right now, the camera was on Uriel, and the flaming sword slices through two hobgoblins. And as soon as that happens, we switch to a different view, and now there's a wolf kind of sneaking up on the side.
Okay.
And then we can look at kind of a quick view to the other side. There's another wolf sneaking up. Now, what are they about to do?
Okay,
That's
so
the view we're looking at right now.
we want to get a hold of whoever was shooting the bow and arrows. So, like, whoever's
There's
in the
like
back.
3 or 4 or more of those. So actually, the way it was set up, there's guys that are standing up, like above the cave entrance. Those are the ones shooting the arrows. And then
Okay.
there's several along the ground level holding little axes. Well, I say little; they're not little. Regular hand axes.
Okay.
And they're just all kind of around the entrance, waiting for you guys to show up, because
All right.
that short figure got there first. They knew you were coming, which is why I let them get off the first shot when he charged in.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go in from the sides, and I guess if there's no ground archers...
Could be a leaping attack, too. I mean, wolves can jump pretty high, I would think.
Oh, okay.
And this is a fantasy world.
Cloud goes low, you go high, kind of thing on somebody, like a double team, stuff like
Okay.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
You could do it doggy style.
All right.
This will be Wolfie style.
Double team.
What are you guys
Rockstar.
all laughing at? I don't understand. What are you face palming for, Bridget?
So
That's my
I guess I don't know. I'm having a hard time picturing like the setup, but let's just do.
So think of it as there's just one hobgoblin there, and you and another wolf are about to do something to it. What might that look like?
Okay, we're just gonna go hack and slash. We're
Okay.
going in. We're attacking.
Okay, let's just
Yeah.
do that.
All right.
So you'll roll that.
Am I rolling both of these?
Yeah,
Both of the dice?
it's always when you roll, it's 2 6-sided dice.
Okay.
Now, when that happens, Kurt, normally when you participate in an attack with Cloud, what are the benefits?
If I'm attacking the same target, I get to add his ferocity to my damage, so it'd be +1 to damage.
Okay, so I would say we would use that same thing here, because they're the same species at this point.
Okay.
It would make sense that she should be able to take advantage of that group.
Okay. I also get a bonus to my armor if I'm taking damage. I get to
Okay.
use his armor to bonus me.
Okay,
All right. So here we go.
go for it.
All right. I rolled a 5.
Okay, so
Wow.
that gives you another
but then-
experience, another poker chip, or
But she
people
didn't really
could
roll
pitch
5
in.
because she hasn't added a modifier yet.
Which
It would
is
be
a
a
minus
minus
1.
Yeah.
It would be a minus
So
1.
even strength
Even
on
using
dex.
those
Yeah.
would burn. It'd be pointless.
And then you said I would get a +1 with
That would
Cloud.
be to damage.
That's
though.
damage to
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Okay. So yeah, I would take another chip, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So you get another one, and we'll
But maybe
take that.
she was going low and Cloud was going high. Does Cloud get an attack now?
No, what's actually going to happen here is the hobgoblin gets to take a swing at, actually gets to hit Trillium. So roll a d6, and you're going to minus your armor, which is,
1.
Where's my
1.
armor? 3. Oh, okay.
and because we have that whole thing with Cloud and they're attacking together, reduce it by another 1, so you'll take 1 point of
Okay.
damage.
All right. That's
So mark
not
that
bad.
down. So it's not as bad as it could be yet, but that's a failure. And I take failures forward to enhance later situations. And that will happen probably soon. All right, we're now at the point where the hobgoblins are starting to, they're ready to fight back. So they see this little mishap with the wolves. This first hobgoblin actually gets to hit something. And that kind of rallies the troops a little. So they're just going to charge forward. And the first person that they can charge towards, first two are Uriel and Trillium. So they're going to come after both the y'alls. How do you react to that? They're swinging axes at you. Axin.
I will try to, let's see, I guess it would be a strength move, or maybe to block with my flaming sword.
Okay.
So it could possibly damage their axe depending how they hit.
Would you think of that as dexterous?
No, it'd be more
How do you do it?
strength, you know.
Just kind of stand there and hold your sword up against the swing?
Yeah, kind of like put it in the way, you know.
Okay,
block
let's
with
try
it.
that. You can defy some danger with some strength. And Kelly, it looks like you're looking at that for now, thinking of what you might be doing.
I did not do so
Yeah.
well. I got a
A
6.
6? That's not good.
I will not use up. I will take the
Okay.
hit.
So roll a d6. And you will take that minus your armor.
It is 3, which means I could use my fighting fire with fire when I take damage, and the damage is odd.
Yeah.
The flames within you come to your aid, so I roll 1d4.
Uh-oh.
And this will add to my burning brand if it's active, which it is.
Okay.
And I can take that result forward. Or I could reduce damage to whatever this is. 4, I will just suck up the damage.
Okay. So you're going to put the damage into the fire.
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
All
Absorb
right.
the damage.
That's an interesting thing. So
What
as
was
long
that
as the
called?
damage is odd.
It's called fighting fire with fire.
Yeah. Okay.
So when he goes to hit me, just the flame kind of comes off the sword and like armors me up a little bit.
That's pretty slick. Trillium, how are you going to handle the hobgoblins attacking you? And they're not really an organized attack, but there's two of them coming at you just swinging wildly with their axes.
Okay.
Because they already hit you once.
I'm going to just get out of the way. I'm going to defy danger.
So you're
guess
going
that
to
would
try and
be-
jump out of the way, duck, dodge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
That's
my
definitely
strength
dexterity,
is,
yeah.
is
You
not
always try and
good.
play to your strengths, which is why they
Yeah.
give some examples there on the defy danger. 'Cause
Because
you
I
can
mean, I
even do
thought
it
about doing
intelligently.
the powering through. It would be plus strength, but I mean, my strength
Probably
is
not a
no
good
bueno.
idea. Yeah.
Es muy malo.
Nick's so good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just dodge that. I'm gonna
Okay.
get out of the way.
Let's see if
I just
that
got
works.
hit. Just gonna get out of the way.
It's probably gonna be a little
let's
yelp.
see. So 9 plus 2 is
Oh
11.
gosh, yeah. So you very deftly dodge the wildly swinging axes. And while those attacks are going on, we have two people standing back that are ready probably with another arrow, another spell,
I'm
another
gonna-
idea.
I'd like to throw a magic missile up at the archers on top.
Okay.
If they're still there,
They are. They're getting ready with their next arrows.
then I shall attempt to cast a spell.
And they seem very clumsy with their bows, too. Definitely
11.
not coordinated.
11. I cast the heck out of
It
it.
That's a
went
good
to
roll.
11. It is. It's a very good roll, which means you don't have to take a negative.
I like that.
Yeah.
And 7.
Oh my. Okay. So one of them it gets hit with the sparklies and falls down onto the pile that's forming at the entrance. They're smoldering and sparking. That's pretty neat. Breton,
Cool. How far am I from them?
how far away did we stop? I'm saying 20, 25 feet
Yeah.
from the entrance because it is a wooded area. You can't be too far back.
Right. So he is just gonna, already has his bow ready. He's gonna take a shot and then immediately transition into running forward and drawing his short sword for his next attack.
Go for it.
So for the,
Is this the regular volley, or are you going to try a called shot again?
I think I'm gonna do a regular volley
Okay.
because I only get damage on the called shot if I go 10 plus, right?
Yeah. But you still got the main guy drooling. So
Correct. Yeah. So
He hasn't necessarily recovered yet.
I'm gonna shoot at whichever one is Cloud was attacking, so I can
Okay.
potentially get a bonus.
Those are right at the entrance where Trillium is.
Cool. So I rolled an 8 plus 2 dex is 10.
That's a good number.
So I roll a d8 damage,
Trying to keep
which is
track.
a 6 plus 1
good.
from the command with the cloud bonus. Do I get any other
So
bonuses to damage?
one down towards the entrance.
Right, so
That will take
7.
out another one.
All right, so that's
Definitely.
7, and now he's transitioning in movie terms.
Yeah.
Bow's going over the back, sword's coming out, and he's charging
Like a Legolas kind of move.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So
and
now
he has kind of a dark brown cape, so his cape is starting to fly out from behind him, and he's looking super cool.
Wow. There's got to be a little bit of music that goes along with that. Think of it in your head, everybody. There's something heroic. We have the big one that you first hit with the arrow is Bridget's drawn a rainbow with poop at one end and stick figures at the other.
This is very helpful because I'm having a hard time visualizing where everybody is. So
and that's something that we can get to. One of the other things we do on the table is this little whiteboard piece we've put on the table and drawn there too. So that's something we might try next time.
Yeah.
The visual can definitely help. Yeah. But that is a good representation. There's a cave entrance. There were guys above it and guys below. And if you wanted to draw the big guy, you could draw him off to the left. He's just bigger stick figure than the others. Yeah, he's next to the pile of rabbit pellets. 10-foot rabbit pellets.
That's one hell of a rabbit.
It is. It's a killer rabbit. So that guy has now regained his senses, and he barks out some really rough words that you don't quite understand, but it's in the same tone as the hobgoblin that you had pinned on the ground before. But it's like stuff. And the other ones just kind of turn and start running to the sides. They run away at this point, unless somebody's going to try to stop them from running away.
I'm going for the big guy.
Wait, so they're running away from the big guy?
No, they're all running. He's told them, essentially retreat, scatter,
okay.
get away.
I gotcha.
Flee for your lives.
Flee for your lives. All right, I'm going for the big guy then.
Okay.
More flaming sword action. Let's see if I can...
More.
This would be a cartoon strip by the end of the session.
That'd be pretty cool.
9, 10. It's a 10.
You sound sure of yourself.
Well, I was like, I'm only +1. I thought it was like +2 there. So.
All right. So yeah, definitely.
So big guy's still there?
Oh, he's about to not be. You can draw little smoke lines off of him, I think.
7 points of damage?
Yeah, you can draw little smoke lines off of him. Because now he's smoldering dead.
Nice.
He got the little stink lines and everything. The others have run away, and now you're just at the cave, which is a little bit of embers down there. What's your next step?
I could.
At this point, from what you could tell, 4 or 5 of them got away.
You want me to cauterize the cave before we go in?
You could just do it. Of course, who knows what else is in there?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the trick.
Now, if anyone else can help me recall, how much of the stuff did we take out? Was it all of it or nearly all of it?
It was nearly all. Yeah.
So there's still some stuff from the town in that cave, as far as you know.
Right.
Correct. I'm going to want to kind of look for tracks and see if I can see any evidence of the smaller figure here. Or
go for it. Give a tracking roll.
Yeah, I guess I've got hunt and track with wisdom. Mm-hmm. Oh, not so good. I rolled a 4 plus wisdom is +1, so only 5.
Do you want to use any points to get up there? Excuse me.
I only have 1, so that won't help.
I mean, others have it if it makes a difference.
Oh, you know what? I get to add, hang on. I get to add. Thank you, Chris. I get to add
he remembered you have a companion.
Cunning to my track roll, which is +2.
Okay.
So it would give me 6. So then the question is, do I want to use my...
If you got more than one, I would say for sure. But
I don't.
It's up to you.
But you know what? I'll use it in the interest of...
Bridget has one she'd give you.
Oh, thank you. So...
Well, it'll go back into the pile, though.
Oh, well. Yeah.
He doesn't get to keep it. It's being used.
So that would get me 7, which would allow me to follow a creature's trail until there's a significant change in the direction.
The trail leads into the cave.
Perfect.
Okay.
Definitely. And you do find that trail. It is different from the hobgoblins. As I had mentioned before, I believe that the tracks are deeper than they ought to be for a smaller track. They're deeper than the hobgoblin tracks as well. Mm. And the big hobgoblin was probably about 7 feet tall.
So it's probably not a dwarf.
Yeah.
It's probably something supernatural or enhanced.
It very well could be. So next steps?
I think you should go in.
Following tracks and I
you want to go in
steps.
first? The wolves go in maybe first?
Yeah. I thought we were already in the cave.
No,
you were outside. Everyone was outside. Yeah. The hobgoblins were guarding the entrance.
There's like a bouldered entryway, I think. Like hidden. It's kind of...
You had a 2D drawing.
Okay, so
we were out here.
Outside.
Out here.
Yeah.
Just at the opening.
Now we're going in.
Now we're going in. All right.
Yeah. You got it. Oh, well, you might be going
We were
in.
inside in my head, too, so don't worry about it.
Really?
I got it.
Oh, okay.
I got this. I saw it in my head.
See, for me, the hobgoblins were guarding the entrance.
Yeah, I viewed it as like there was like inside the cave, kind of an antechamber, and then the cave goes deeper in. I mean, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that's kind of what I was thinking.
I had it like there's a natural, either whether it's like forage, like the forest, or like some more rocks that had like a blocking entryway, like a little hidden, made it like a hidden entryway. That's how I
This
saw
is important. Excuse me. Kurt, would you grab me one of those brown bottles from in there, please? Anyone is fine.
Did you say this is important?
This is important to know that we're all on the same page, and
what we're
the more
seeing
we
in our
describe
heads,
helps.
Because what you said was, this is important, Kurt. Can you grab me a bottle?
Well, that's true.
Well, there's
that is
that.
also true.
I also need it to be opened from over there because the opener's on the door or on the
Very
top.
demanding.
Yeah. I am extremely
See what-
demanding.
Bridget
what
can
I-
confirm.
Thank you, robot
mower.
I'm just gonna keep saying
Get
it.
a robot beer opener.
Well, I'm surprised it's not
Kurt's
Apple
face.
Watch.
I think the
He
mower.
just lit up.
I think the mower actually has a bottle opener on it.
Yeah, that's a robot.
If it doesn't, I'll make one.
Joe, you just need a robot servant generally. Like, just follow you around.
I do. That'd be pretty cool.
Probably not too many years off from that, actually.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I just need to. No.
Isaac, make sure Isaac Asimov's rules are working out for you.
We have Trillium headed into the cave opening, and I think wolves see better in the dark, right?
I could also cast light if we need
So how
that.
many holds did you
There's
have
some
as
fire
the
in there
wolf?
right now.
Do you remember that?
And I'm going to bring more in.
Okay.
No.
I
She had at
think
least 2.
She had 3 holds from
Yeah.
last time because I just
Yeah.
listened to the end
Because I
of
got
that.
one more hold on my burning brand.
So we're going to use one of the holds to do special Wolfie can see and smell and whatever in the dark, so you get a better picture of what's inside before anyone else gets there.
Okay.
Right inside the cave entrance now, we'll go back to, you are now just stepping inside the cave entrance. It's at nighttime, so it's dark out, darker in, but there are some embers left in a little campfire. The place does smell bad. You can see the bits of bags and crates and stuff that you guys didn't take from the cave the first time when you brought things back to the town, and the cave itself goes in maybe about 30 feet and then kind of narrows towards the back, and you can see farther back there's like a little. It's probably 100 feet or so back, but the cave just seems to get smaller and smaller, and it looks like there's an opening all the way on the other side. But within the cave itself, it just looks like this was a place for them to gather stuff and have their little get-togethers. So it's kind of nasty and
Okay. Storage / hangout.
It mainly storage of the stuff they stole from the town and a hangout area. Think of this; it's like a dorm room for hobgoblins.
That's bad.
The equivalent of pizza boxes and beer cans
that's
and stuff
horrible.
around from. Yeah,
That's
Okay.
yeah. You're pretty sure they wiped their butt with some of this stuff.
Oh, did we have to
It's
go there?
Yes, it's nasty.
It's
I want to
hobgoblin.
emphasize the nastiness of the area.
when he says it stinks, it stinks.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But we don't see any other creatures in there right now.
We're not in.
Right now, Trillium does not see any other creatures, and the smells are so mixed. You do smell the same smell as that small figure, but it's mixed in with all the other stuff. And it
Okay.
may or may not be fresh. It's just all... It's a cornucopia of unpleasant scents.
Okay.
Nice.
And sights. Sounds like.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what you see on the inside, and it looks safe. So maybe others could join you
Okay.
and see what the next steps are.
I can't remember what the dungeon world role is, if any, for like perception check.
That is, I was going to say the wrong thing. It's discern realities.
Yeah.
I was going to say sense motive. What the hell is that? It's not even in the game.
So interestingly, as a
But
ranger,
discern
I don't seem
reality.
to have anything that actually like improves perception. I guess other than just tracking. Is that correct?
Well, yeah,
That's a big
you're
deal,
tracking
though.
your
Yeah.
ability to pick a spot on a target that you're called shot kind of thing. To Chris's point, it is a big deal because anyone can say they are tracking, but what they're doing is they're going to discern realities and see what's important and hopefully find a track. For you, it is, I'm going to make this roll, and I know where the thing went, and that's that. That's your advantage there. For everyone else, it's just a random chance.
I
And
think
you get
I'll step in
directive.
and discern realities.
So remember, in Dungeon World, the way we want to do it is I'm going to step in and look around and see what I can find out about this place. And that triggers the move, discern realities.
Yeah. When I
We don't want to say what we're doing according to game rules because then that makes it more boring.
Look of this.
That.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I'm
Thanks.
going
Yeah,
to
it's
walk
the same
in
now.
and look around.
Yeah. And is there anything specific that you're looking for before we get the roll going? That can steer the questions after.
I'm going to dump, since my sword's going to go out anyway, I'm going to dump it into the burning embers to light up the room a little bit more.
Ah, cool. All right.
Nice. I'm going to look to the ceiling while she's looking and make sure there's no Minox hanging or anything bad hanging up there.
Okay. They suck on the power lines.
Yeah, it's on the power cables.
I don't know. See if there's any signs of human intelligence or something that would explain what's going on.
Maybe
here.
some deception, maybe.
So go ahead and make that roll. You add discern realities, add your wisdom. And discern realities, as it says, it's when you closely
10.
study a situation or person, you roll, you add your wisdom. Then what happens, so you have 10 plus, you get to pick 3 questions from that list. Now, they do not have to be literally those questions, because sometimes you get it stuck in your head that the question says, what happened here recently? And you think I might say, well, somebody lit a fire here. No, if you ask a question, you're going to get something more than what you already know. And things like who is in control here, I wouldn't just tell you, well, it was the big hobgoblin, because that he was obviously in control. He told them to go away. You'll get something more than what you already know, regardless of the question. And it's collaborative. You're all there together.
Yeah.
You can all talk about it and think about what you might want to know.
What is useful or valuable would be the first, I would say.
Yeah. What's useful or valuable to me?
Amidst the stuff that was stolen and things on the ground, for the first time you notice there's a symbol, like the city emblem standard. What's the right word for it? Standard?
Yeah.
If a city,
Or sigil,
a city standard of the big city to the east, which we hadn't named yet, so we can name it anytime. By the way, that's going to be the place that has the Stinky Salamander bar, because we had named Stinky Salamander, but I put it in the city. So the name of the big city to the east, their standard is in several places around here.
Oh.
And that's the first you noticed of it.
Okay.
Isn't one of the questions something like, what here is not as it seems, or something like that?
Yeah.
There is another sheet right there that Kurt can have if you don't mind handing that to him.
I would want to ask that just to see if we're missing a danger or something in the room.
Yeah, I think it's the bottom one. Is it what you're looking for?
What here is not what it appears to be.
Yeah, is there?
Does that sound right?
And what I'm really looking for is there any more danger or something hidden here that we need to be aware of?
Now, Kurt, you had said that Breton was looking around as well, and you said you rolled something.
Yeah, I rolled 13.
Okay.
And I was focusing on the ceiling, and just I'm looking for threats that we may not have seen inside.
So let's just treat that as you were participating, and that gives you the opportunity to do that look. It does look like there's an extra shadow in the ceiling that shouldn't be there. Even with the fire dancing around, there's one shadow that doesn't move in the flames. And the ceiling here, let's say it's 15 feet up. So
okay, and just to clarify the last thing
reach
with the city standard, was that among the stuff that had been stolen, or just
it's just around, like candy wrappers, Kit Kat candy wrappers around kind of thing. There are things around that have the city symbol on it. So maybe the city stores of grain or something were stolen, and there's little bits of stuff there. That's the way I'm going to phrase it. That's not necessarily what it is. The important part is this is now linked to the city to the east. And if someone wants to come up with a name for that, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other question, though. Like,
one more
who's
question.
really in control here?
Okay. That's the one you want to use?
I think so,
okay.
I want to know who's in charge, who we need to take out.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one, too.
Or at least what direction to go next.
There is also amongst the stuff, as you take extra time to look through, there you find a note. And the note...
That's what I wanted to know.
It is written in much fancier writing than a hobgoblin would ever be able to pull off. It's not written in crayon with the R's backwards. Yes. Right?
Two spacings.
This is written from fine ink in an ink well from a nice little piece of parchment. And it specifically spells out that the delivery needs to happen by the 3rd day. And it has a address that appears to be an address that you might recognize from the city.
Okay.
So, the big city, or
yeah, that whenever we come up with a name of it,
Harak, H-E-R-A-K.
H-E-R-A-K. All right, the city is named Harak. Now, Harak is a city. It's a big place, probably tens of thousands of people. It has everything you could need in there. Full trade place. It's even the
There's
main.
some dirty jokes that could be made with that.
Harak?
With Harak?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, with Harak.
Y'all are perverts. Y'all are just complete perverts.
The important part is when we get there, we'll need to go right up into
Our heart is
Harak.
pretty big, right?
Yeah, it is.
Harak
It is a nice place.
All right, how about Sasko?
It's
It's a mountainous region.
It is. It's nestled in between two mountains.
Yeah.
It's Harak.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of dairy
I thought you
cows,
were
though.
doing that
Yeah.
on purpose.
That was
Sorry.
definitely not on purpose. But maybe subconscious.
2 steps dirtier than you were.
Watch out for those Catholic girls.
And so the address is going to be an address right off of the main market square. Okay.
All right, I'm going to take that note and pocket it.
Okay. Now, I will make a point of saying there is no specific day listed. It just says the delivery needs to happen by the 3rd day. So you don't know if that's past or in the future or whatever.
Right.
There's nothing indicating when that happens.
Just that the writing's distinct.
Oh, yeah, it's very famous. This is definitely a well-educated, well-written person's writing.
All right, yeah, I'm going to keep that note just in case.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I could bend the flames to my will to push it up towards the shadow, the unmoving shadow in the ceiling.
Is that requires a roll?
Yes, it
doesn't
does. Yeah.
Is that Zuko style?
That is Zuko style.
All right, I like that.
6. I will use
I was
one of
watching.
my things to get a 7.
Okay. So you got a 7. What does 7 to 9 do on that?
7 is the effects is short-lived, lasting only a moment, but should at least provide me some
So like
viewability.
I'm going to treat this as an amber flash bulb at the ceiling.
Okay.
And as soon as that happens, that shadow starts bolting towards the back entrance.
Okay.
Like bolting as in faster than you think something like that should move.
Is it running on the ceiling or
Yes.
does it drop? Okay, this is like
Yeah.
we got a super freak.
And it's not a spider.
Yeah.
Definitely not a spider, I'll tell you that.
But
Can
it's
you
still
stick cloud on
Something
that, or
small.
towards
we can
the-
only see a shadowy. We can't really
Yeah.
get details.
So about 15 feet up above you, think of it as like I've got these black drapes hanging in here. It's like that, kind of like a shape up there.
Right.
And as soon as that hits, that shape just darts, and you see a little trail of like a little black cloak maybe following it.
Gotcha.
And it is
That
just
doesn't
running
fly.
along the ceiling
No, but
upside down.
run towards the back of the cave.
Oh,
where
as
the
soon as this
other-
thing gets 20 feet towards the back of the cave, it's got to come down to the ground because
It's
well, it
gotta
doesn't
go
have
up.
to come down to the ground, but it has to come down to the small exit. as
Because
it
it
were.
narrows.
It
The
does.
cave narrows.
Exactly.
Does it pause there, or is
Oh, it is.
It's
No,
out
it's-
of there.
it's booking.
Lion.
So
Okay.
can we stop it?
This is like superseding Hussein Bolt
You still
speed.
wolf?
This guy's fast.
Is it faster than Cloud?
No, I think
It might be a
Is it
a
faster
chase.
than a magic missile?
Probably not.
Yeah,
Magic
definitely
is
not.
pretty damn fast.
Then I'm going to
You wanna
magic.
start with a
bomb
magic
that
I'm gonna
missile?
start with magic. Yeah.
Zap, zap, mofo.
Nope.
Dang.
What's a nope?
6.
6? Well, there's a lot of poker chips around on this
Well,
table if somebody
yeah, I guess
really
I
wants to stop that.
I have 3.
All right, 7.
Like,
But I'm going to have unwanted, or do I have to pick a different one?
No, it's fine. You still got
Unwelcome
some
attention.
unwelcome attention happening.
Okay.
You just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be a spotlight on me.
She doesn't have to pick another bad thing now?
No.
No, he's not.
You can
doing
have
that
doubly
one.
unwanted attention.
Yeah.
6
That's for
damage.
sure.
Now, I don't want to kill it.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't
So
know.
if you
just wanna stop
specifically
it.
don't want to kill it, you just have to say that.
I don't want to
Subdue
kill
it.
it. I want
In
to stop
Dungeon
it.
World, you can just say you're not going to
I
kill it.
want to see what it is
Yeah.
that we've been chasing.
Because realistically, you ought to have enough control over your electric blue balls to not kill something. I mean, I do.
Our bad. It's just a chimney sweeper.
Are your blue balls going to get stronger in Harak? When we're in Harak?
Outstanding.
Maybe.
I would say it doesn't get better than that, but I'm sure it will. It's awesome. So you hit the figure, and it pauses long enough that someone might be able to catch up to it.
Yeah. I'm full speed ahead going for a
All right,
tackle.
somebody get it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm sick to Cloud.
All right. So Cloud will arrive right before
Uriel.
Uriel does.
I'm going to yell, what is it?
Cloud.
What is it?
Somebody.
So Cloud.
What is it?
So Cloud.
Thanks, Cloud.
Cloud tries to tackle the thing, but it brushes Cloud aside easily. And Uriel reaches just as Cloud's
Yeah.
being shoved
Going
off
for
into
the same
side.
thing as for a tackle.
You just want to do a tackle? Well, let's do it this way.
It's going to fail regardless.
Well, I'm not sure what we're going to have for a roll yet. That's the thing.
Oh, gotcha.
So to start, you are going to get the thing, because Cloud was able to get it, but was shrugged off quick. So what's going to happen is, as soon as you grab this thing, it's going to feel like, or it feels like, you're grabbing marble, like a stone, like a statue. Might be a good way to put it. It's like you're grabbing a moving statue. And when you do so, it immediately resists you. And it's going to throw you off of it unless you find a way to hold on. How would you want to hold on? The danger is you're about to be thrown away from it. How would you like to defy that danger?
Yeah, I would have tried to just hold on to it, which I failed for the grip,
Okay. Well, you didn't have to roll yet. Now you have to roll.
Oh, okay. I will try to hold on.
Yeah, it was premature.
Yeah. That doesn't happen until we go to Iraq.
He rolled before he got.
Oh, even worse than before. Stop looking at my dice.
Can't even help you out there.
He has performance anxiety when you look at his dice. Yeah.
So that failure makes this a complete getaway.
Yeah.
It shrugs you off.
I hit it and everything.
Bolts, yes. And you gave everyone else an opportunity to help. But it got away. This one got away.
Damn it.
But now you have a little bit more information.
Yeah.
It can be hit by magic, right? So it wasn't resistant to magic. It is like
damaged?
a rock.
Yeah.
Well, you did damage it. Yeah,
okay.
You just didn't kill it.
I didn't kill it.
All right. But this thing moved faster than you think you could possibly catch up to it.
It was like a statue.
Which equals
which is weird. It seems very dense and heavy. But
you didn't get a good look at it because you went into the dark area again, but it felt like you were grabbing a statue, a big rock that was moving.
So it's strong, it's heavy, it's small,
and
it's fast.
Really fast. And by small, I would say the thing is maybe 4.5 feet in length.
Anybody have any idea what that kind of... Anybody ever heard of something like that?
Hey, perhaps we should spout some lore.
Somebody might know a little bit about it. Who knows? Who's the smart one?
I guess I am.
Yeah, it's probably
I guess I am.
I have a +1.
I can't remember if anybody actually had a +2 on any intelligence. I think +1 was the best we got.
Well, actually, maybe I'm not. I got wisdom, but not intelligence.
I'm at a neutral.
I'm at 12.
I'm +1. 13.
Jeez Louise, I'm at a 0.
So you be the smartest as far as spouting lore, the person most likely to know something.
Right, yeah,
it makes sense. I would know that.
You might have seen it before or heard of something.
So I roll and add intelligence.
Yep.
Spouting lore. And what is it you think
away.
you know? You think you think you recall this kind of character?
He knows the heck out of it.
This kind of being.
I'm
this kind
wondering
of
if it's like.
Now you don't have to name it, but what do you think you're recalling? Is this? Let me rephrase it. Is this something you would have learned in the wild, learned in a city, learned in a book, learned in a something? Where does this knowledge come from?
This seems like something I would have learned from a book more than. It doesn't seem like a natural thing I would have seen in the woods.
So with that, what is the number you ended up with?
11.
An 11. Oh, okay.
Plus what?
Or 10 plus 1.
10 plus 1.
Okay.
Solid as a rock.
So in this case, as a spout lore, I'm supposed to tell you something both interesting and useful about the subject, relevant to your situation. In this case, the best that you've got, and it's very likely, is it is some sort of construct like a gargoyle, but the key piece here is that it is definitely in service to something that created it. It does not operate independently. So if this is the being that you think it is, which with an 11, yes, but you're thinking this, this is a construct that is definitely in service to something else. It's following orders. Probably somebody with really good handwriting, if you had to guess. You put that discern realities together with this spout lore, chances are whoever wrote that note is in control of said gargoyle. And for simplicity's sake, let's call it a gargoyle. It sounds better than construct.
Or golem. Maybe.
Yeah.
Do we want to try following?
I'm treating it like a gargoyle. It was sitting perfectly still up on the ceiling until it was exposed and then left. So.
Well, it left a trail before. We followed footprints before.
But this failure, the trail is like obscured. It was running on rock for a while in the cave, so there's not really a trail to follow.
Like
it's all his fault for getting the failure, just so you know.
Plus, we're not small like this entryway, the exit,
tiny.
it's tiny.
Oh, you could crawl out.
Yeah, right, but it would slow us down immensely.
And actually, the other thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned, the farther you go down that exit, as it were, you hear more wind. It's like the wind is constantly being pulled through this cave out that side. And it's not a natural thing. It's like somebody created a little, I wouldn't call it a vortex, but a wind tunnel. and it seems like an unnatural wind tunnel that you really only notice once you're in the smaller part and the sound is louder.
Okay.
It's a good cave for hiding smells from one side, that's for sure. So he got away. The gargoyle got away. What's your next step?
You're calling it is it a gargoyle?
I'm going to call it that because that's how I'm treating it. And for us to all understand, like I was telling Chris, it was sitting perfectly still. It had to be exposed. Once it was exposed, it ran. And getting in and out of places.
Something like that, some sort of gargoyle.
But think way more agile than you would think a big stone clunky gargoyle.
But can it fly?
You haven't seen it fly, but you saw it walk on the ceiling.
But we also saw it leave footprints.
Yep.
And it didn't fly away.
Right.
That's true.
It ran.
Right.
So maybe it can't fly.
Probably not.
Oh.
We could call it a living statue if that
But
makes
it's pretty
it
fast.
easier. Whatever wording we use, we'll just stick with it. It's the stone thing that
if
you guys
it's really
were chasing.
heavy, yeah, maybe it can't fly. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it on the ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we
But
first
it
saw
ran.
it?
But it ran on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And let's put another point on that afterwards when you look at where it was, because you probably would. Somebody would look at where it was. It was like its fingers were grabbed into the rock. It just grabbed the rock and held onto that rock. So it had that amount of strength, which is why it easily tossed the wolf and Uriel off. So it's a very strong creature.
Well, we should probably take whatever remaining loot back to the city and figure out what's up with these standards from Harak.
Okay. It's easy enough to bring the stuff back to the city, or bring to the town of Valshand. So you can return the rest of it to
Yes,
Philip,
the sheriff. Yeah,
the sheriff, Philip.
Yeah, he can dispense it.
And at this point, the thefts have been exposed, but we don't know if they've stopped. Right?
That's true.
Because it was happening earlier tonight. So maybe it's a good point to everybody get a rest. You'll get your hit points, your spells, whatever. Anything that you used up can come back. And maybe meet in the... I got to remember the name.
Spastic
Piglet. The pig.
The pig.
Meet at the pig in the morning and discuss the next steps. Because you guys have been doing this fight through the night. It's probably 3 or 4 in the morning. You need some sleep, need some rest.
That sounds like a plan.
We'll do that. So you return the stuff. You wake Sheriff Philip Almejoles. And he takes the rest of the stuff and he'll just start distributing it.
Can we show
tomorrow.
the note to see if it recognizes that writing? Is it specific to
Do
a
you
certain
want to do that?
area?
Yeah?
Yeah.
He doesn't recognize the writing, but he knows that that specific parchment is only made by one person in Harak.
Person have a name?
Yeah. The parchment maker.
Yeah, is it like Areola or something?
They call him Niple.
Oh, he's French.
Yes.
Dos Niples.
That's his last name. His first name is Perquet.
I'll go with Perkay. His name is Perkay.
Okay.
Perkay is what I'm going to put.
Perquet the parchment.
Yeah, he makes the finest writable things. I don't even know the right stationery. I don't know that they would call it stationery in medieval times. It's a stationery. He's the boutique stationery store.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Interesting. How far is Harak from Valshand?
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for the city name.
It didn't even occur to me. I think we should just change the name now.
No. Oh, no.
It's too good.
Why don't we just change it to, like, I don't know, Volvania?
What's the name? Mulva?
Perhaps Mons Pubis. And Kurt's sober, everyone. Kurt is sober.
Totally
How far
sober.
is Valshand
2 days
from
to the
Harak?
east. 2 days to the east.
Is that
It's going to take
horseback
you
or
2
straight
days to
walking?
get to Harak.
Dang.
Regardless of which way you go,
Oh,
approximately
okay.
2 days.
Yeah.
But just to make it an easy one, because it's all on the road. This is one of the cities that people are going to when they pass through Valshand.
So there's a direct path to Harak.
There is. It's a road. It's clear. There's no question of where Harak is. It's right there.
I love it. In this campaign just turned.
Well, you can tell. You can tell when you're getting there because you're headed to the east, and if you go there in the morning, you can see the sunrise over the two mountains, and you just follow the road right up the middle.
Makes
That's
sense.
where Harak is.
So it's easy to get to Harak.
It is. It's very clear. So the next morning comes up, and you guys have rest. Rest has happened. You know what? This might be a good chance. Did anybody think about what they wanted to do for their level 2 thing? Because we can take the next 10 minutes talking about the leveling and what that means for our characters. Did everybody get an idea of what they wanted to pick?
Yeah, I got 2 ideas.
I did.
Yeah. So, Kurt, if you got that in mind already, if you wouldn't mind, flip over the basic move sheet.
Yep.
And look at the level up move. Read that for us. Because we don't do that very often on the air. It's on the left side at the bottom.
On the basic move
on the back of the basic move sheet. The special moves. Yeah.
Okay, level up. When you have downtime, hours or days, and experience points equal to or greater than your current level plus 7, subtract your current level plus 7 from your XP, increase your level by 1, and choose a new advanced move from your class. If you are the wizard, you also get to add a new spell to your spellbook. Choose one of your stats and increase it by 1. This may change its modifier. Changing your constitution increases your maximum and current hit points. Ability scores cannot go higher than 18.
So this is an important one to know, that the ability score increase, because if you look, you started with a 15 and a 12. Those two, if you go up by 1, increases your modifier. So you could immediately get an extra modifier on one of your stats right off the bat. Because a 15 can go to a 16, which is a +1 to a +2. And a 12, which is 0, can go from +0 to +1 if you go to 13. And you can see that at the point array right above your things. Well, for those using the old-style character sheet.
But we started with a 16.
Yeah, you start with a 16, a 15, a 13, a 12, a 9, and an 8. Actually, the 8 you could turn into a 9, and instead of a -1, you could have 0.
Right.
So there are 3 stats that you have right now that you could add a point to change a modifier. The flip side to that is your 16, if you really want to excel at the thing you're best at, it's a +2 now. It goes to a +3 at 18.
Right.
So you could add it to 17 now, and then next level go to 18. And we're going to do accelerated character advancement so we get more of a feel of the characters. We'll get the extra moves, the advanced moves, and we'll get the extra points. And we'll do that at a much more rapid pace than we might normally do.
Right. So the idea on this is when you get a certain amount of XP, which you get by failing, then you level up. So the more you fail, the more you level up, which helps equalize you by making you better.
Yeah.
But in our case, we're not going to, like, what would it take? 8 XP to level up, and we're going to do it much faster than that.
We're going to do it quicker so that we experience the more of the characters sooner.
And we're going to do it at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to choose, I'm tempted to up my wisdom from 15 to 16 because that would help my hunting and tracking, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take my dexterity from 16 to 17, so it stays at +2, but the next time it'll go to +3, which will help all my archery.
Cool.
And everything. And then I'm going to take, as my special move, I want to take Blot Out the Sun, which basically lets me do multiple arrow shots at the same time, but I'm not going to. I'm going to, for roleplay purposes, take Wild Empathy, which is you can speak with and understand animals, as long as that will allow me to understand Trillium when she's in animal form.
Yeah, it will because of the way that Kelly has chosen to play it.
Right, so not just Cloud. So Cloud could talk to her if she was a wolf, but I could talk to her in any animal forms, as well as other animals. I'm going to be like Bambi.
And now, literally, you could actually talk to Cloud for the first time, which is kind of interesting. Instead of that telepathic bond you share, you could actually talk, which is a whole new thing with your bonding with your animal companion.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So that's all we do, right?
Yeah. Those are the 2 things.
And because I did not change Constitution, hit points stay the same?
Exactly.
Okay.
The only time your hit points change is if you put that point into Constitution.
Right. I will say, I've never, in all my time of playing Dungeon World, felt like I was constantly getting close to dying.
No.
Like,
well, we did talk about that in the one of the previous episodes where you had said that, and then we reminded you about when you were trying to become a druid, and you were like,
That's true.
Yeah, I was close to death
That's
more
true.
than once. But yeah, hit points almost always matter less than the actual situation. You can be close to death at full hit points because the mountain could be collapsing on you.
Right.
Right. The only other thing I would say is if you want to take a quick look, Kurt, maybe while someone else starts talking, look through your bonds, because we'll take this time to maybe resolve any bonds as well, because I know we've had a little bit of character interaction now, and we've started to learn what each other's characters are like. Does anybody else have an idea or have their level 1 to level 2 talkings ready?
I'm going to pick
Chris.
this Killing Fire, which adds more tags options for my burning brand. So I obtain messy, forceful, reach, near, and far.
Wow.
So for me, it's a little more. The bonus for me on that is a little more reach was the bonus on that one. Granted, the messy and forceful could be useful as well.
Okay.
Let's see.
So reach, in Dungeon World terms, reach is like a spear or a long pole.
Right.
Compared to close, which is like a long sword,
Right.
And then hand is you could touch it with your fingers.
Yep. Gotcha.
So reach gives you maybe a 10-foot-ish maximum.
Yeah, because
range.
before I had hand and thrown, which was near. Mm-hmm. So now I'm getting a little bit.
And what is this for on your just fire attack?
So the burning brand, yeah. So it's whatever weapon I could, create out of it.
What did you pick for your ability score increase?
So I knocked my charisma from an 8, which was -1, up to a 9 for the just neutral, because there's a lot of moves that are based on charisma. So at least now, if I go for one of those, I won't be in the negative on it.
Cool.
Later on.
Kelly?
All right. I'm going to choose the Elemental Mastery for my advanced move. So when you call on the primal spirits of fire, water, earth, or air to perform a task, for 1, you roll plus wisdom. And my wisdom's pretty high, so I figured that'd be a good one. So on a 10 or more, you choose 2. 7 to 9, choose 1. So it says, the effect you desire comes to pass. You avoid paying nature's price, or you retain control.
Cool.
But on a miss, it says some catastrophe occurs as a result of your calling.
You're asking nature to bend to your will, and you didn't get a good response, would be a failure. Now, one of the neat things to keep in mind, for me at least, I like that move a lot, because no matter what you do, there's always a downside. And that's why I like it. It brings forth more elements to enhance what's going on. So you may choose to have what you choose come to pass and don't pay nature's price, but then you didn't choose to keep it under control. So it's going to go out of control, but it'll still do what you wanted it to, but it will do more than you wanted, so to speak. So if you wanted to put out a fire by calling on water, you might actually cause a flood. Kind of thing. And there's a lot of neat things that can happen with that. I really like that move. That was one that got Kurt's Druid into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Nice.
And what ability score did you change?
Yeah, that's the next question.
Oh, okay. I'm just writing these
How
down.
many do I just get one?
One point to add to any one of your current abilities.
All right. I'm going to add +1 to my intelligence, because I'm at a 0.
It'll get you
With
the
that
+1.
one.
What is the score that you had on there, though?
12?
12, so it'll go to 13. Okay.
Okay.
Which will give you the +1.
Yeah, 13 is a
I gotcha.
+1. Yeah.
All right.
There you go. Bridget,
So,
you ready?
Sort of. If my constitution is at a 13
Yeah.
with the +1, if I put a point into that, does it still stay at the +1?
Yes.
It goes to
'Cause it's not quite-
+2 at 16.
Okay.
You would get the extra hit point.
So I'll
Yeah.
get the extra hit point,
You do.
but it won't really change. Okay.
Right. It's a good one if you have like a 15 for your constitution and you add 1, it goes to a 16, you get 1 more hit point, plus you get a +2 to constitution after that. But it's however you want to handle it.
Right.
Is that
Okay.
what you chose?
Yeah,
though?
that's what I chose.
Okay,
That's what
cool.
I'm picking to do. So I'm doing the Constitution 14. And then I'm going to take, for my advanced move, Penitent.
Yes.
Yes. When I take damage and embrace the pain, which that's what I'm
That
all
sounds
about.
about right. And it also thematically makes sense that you keep wanting to build up your constitution because you keep
Right.
hurting yourself.
You may take 1 plus 1d4 damage ignoring armor.
Read that one more
Yeah,
time.
that's why I'm kind of confused.
Say
When
it
you
one more
take
time.
damage
Yeah.
and embrace the pain,
Yeah.
you may take plus 1d4 damage ignoring armor.
So that lets her take more damage, which presumably helps something else,
If I
right?
do-
Oh, if you do that, you take +1
plus
forward.
1 forward
Yes.
to cast a spell.
So if you take more damage, then you're better at your next spell.
Right.
+1 forward means your next roll to cast a spell will get a +1. That kind of makes sense.
Right.
Especially
It would seem like something I would do.
So if something hits you, you can make it hurt a little bit more.
So she's like harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
adding
that means
that
like
one
if
to
I got hit
Constitution.
for 3 points and
Yeah.
rolled a die and it was a 1 or
Yeah.
so I would take 4 points.
Yeah.
But I would also get the +1.
Then
when I
you'd
try to-
magic missile
Okay.
them with a +1 on that roll.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
So you're just a total masochist.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
When you're in the mood.
Zoraika.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. So then, yeah.
See how she said Zorike? Okay.
For all the Zoraika reasons. and the last thing we'll take a look at is bonds. Does anybody feel like the bonds that they picked with other characters may have been resolved or at least addressed? Or for that matter, another way to look at it is no longer relevant. You may have picked a bond and you're thinking now that's never going to happen, that's not going to make sense. Then we get rid of that bond.
And if we have, what does that do for us?
That because of the way we're treating experience, normally you get 1 experience for that. You will get 1 chip for that.
Gotcha. 2 of mine are not relevant. I've guided Uriel before, and he owes me for it. And I had Lenore does not understand life in the wild, so I will teach her. I don't think those have been relevant yet, but I have Trillium as a friend of nature, so I will be her friend as well. Clearly,
When you handle her as a horse. Yeah.
Oh God,
So that one's one.
No. But seriously,
regrets
she and Breton have been working together.
And that makes it does make a good point, regardless of how we take that innuendo. The actual situation of, as a horse, she was most comfortable with the ranger being there.
Right.
Yes, I think that one
and
makes
having
sense.
Cloud work with her.
So you can wipe that one out and take another chip.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I have
Or
a
someone
chip,
can
please?
hand you another chip. Let's put
Thank
it
you.
that way.
I'm going to say I
Thank
had Uriel is a good and faithful person. I trust them implicitly. It just seems like where he's been going, I've been following like what he's targeting. I'm starting to
So you're developing a
develop
trust for his ability,
right,
kind
to
of
trust
thing?
him. But I'm working on converting Uriel to my faith. So I'm trying to show him that
Okay.
he's wrong, but I trust what he's doing.
Yeah. That's an interesting approach.
I guess.
What do you think? Do you think that you trust him explicitly or
Implicitly.
Implicitly now?
Yeah,
make you
I
that
think
nice little-
he's been.
So you want to mark that one off and grab a chip for that. Anybody, Chris or Kelly? Bond?
I will teach Lenore the true meaning of sacrifice. I'm not sure if I've really
haven't
pulled
got
that
that
off
yet.
Not yet, no.
And then I cast something to the fire for Breton and still owe them their due. I don't think that's played out yet either.
All right. Kelly?
I don't know. Mine, the first one, it says, the spirit spoke to me of a great danger that follows Uriel.
I don't think this hasn't played out
Not
yet.
yet.
Yeah,
No,
there's...
he's just heading into danger so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah,
But that
so
could,
there's nothing really there
we'll see how
with
it
that.
plays out,
And then I have showed Breton a secret right of the land.
You didn't have the hobgoblin plant. That was new.
Yeah, I mean, Breton and I kind of,
Yeah, probably not yet.
not
Saying,
I'd wait on
yeah,
that one.
there's been cool things that happened, but I don't know I'd say anything secret right of the land cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So yeah.
Cool. That's going to have our characters at level 2 when we start up the next session. We're going to wrap this one up for now, and we can all say
Ciao, ciao.
bye.
Thanks for listening.
Adios.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.